Welcome to the Think Fresh, Move Forward podcast. Today we're talking about advertising and networking and how to avoid flushing money down the toilet. Be sure to stay tuned to the end of our episode because today we're featuring the squatty potty on Shark Tank. Yeah, so the question I've been thinking about lately is, as I'm new compared to you two, is...
Don't make me feel old.
I mean, you're like 6 years older than I am.
No,
You're 34.
32.
Oh, never mind.
He's the old fart.
Oh,
in
he
this
is
room.
the old Okay, let me ask James.
He's got gray hair.
20% older.
So as the
All
CEO of Fresh Move Media,
Yeah.
how do you decide whether to spend money on advertising or going to networking? And what I mean by that is, as you guys were growing Fresh Move Media, where was the decision made to go out to these networking events in Richmond versus spending money on like Google Ads?
Yeah,
Ooh, I have my opinion on this.
Yeah, I think it's about what stage of business you're in, right?
Mhm.
And if you're in the early stage, right, you just launched, you don't have clients yet, you're just trying to pound the pavement and get clients, right? Then it's all about networking. There's no real reason to be advertising at that stage because your time is better spent just getting out there and meeting people that fit your target demo, right?
Because word of mouth is better than just clicks on the internet.
Initially,
yes,
when you're new,
no.
right? Because what happens is it's less expensive, right?
Sure. Yep.
And it's more in your control, your direct control, right? And yeah, I mean, an investment into a networking group like BNI or like 212 or what other like formal accountability type group is well worth it when you're brand new, right? Because yeah, there's a time investment for that, but you're trading your time for paying clients when you're new, right?
Yeah, you're working on getting your name out there.
Yep.
Because again, most business owners don't have a slew of tens of, if not hundreds of thousands of dollars sitting in a bank account for advertising purposes. Because depending on the industry you're in, yeah, you could do Google AdWords campaign, which can be beneficial to your business and actually can bring a ton of business, but can get very costly very quick.
Yep.
So like depending on the industry, Google ads can range from $1 to as high as, actually did a search yesterday, as high as $650 a click, depending on the keyword that is being used. So if you're in IT, for example, like your space, a cost per click is about $200 because you have companies, a multitude of companies that obviously there's different segments in IT, but they're all technically competing from the same space. So like you're competing against Salesforce and Microsoft, and their $1 billion, ad budgets are ridiculous versus what you have. So it's somewhat
zero.
It's very difficult to in that space versus like if you were to start an e-com business, like for us, Lux Metal Card, our cost per click is on average $2. Now it's $2 a click, which is very cheap.
Right.
The problem in that space though is that we have a ton of tire kickers. So we spend a lot of money for people just to look at a shiny thing on our website and then to back up.
Yeah, I don't want it.
Yeah. Oh wow, $400 for 100 business cards. Ugh. So it's just and Lux Metal Card. I didn't even start out doing Google ads right away. It all started from just posting on social media.
Yep.
And then getting myself business
and
cards.
Networking. Handing out the
that's
cards.
that's even a form of networking is utilizing your Facebook.
Social
Right?
networking.
Like your social media. Yeah, social networking.
So
well, yeah, and on that note, right, for an advertising strategy to work, you have to have a long-term approach, right? You can't just do it for a few weeks and then hope you get business and then stop. We recommend with Google campaigns a 6-month campaign for
minimum.
For real traction, right? And the same thing is true, even more so with something that's more long tail like social media, where you're building long-term brand awareness and you're just getting in front of people and staying top of mind. All of that is 6 months, a year, more. Versus when you're brand new and you're struggling and you just need to bring revenue in, going to a networking event where you could potentially meet 3 or 4 people that fit your target demographic, then that's well worth it.
Now
we're speaking from keeping in mind, we're speaking from a B2B type of perspective, right? If you were fully B2C, right, and it was just a volume business. You had a coffee shop,
Right.
and you were just trying to like get as many people in as you possibly
The
can.
turnaround. Yep.
There might be other forms of advertising that make more sense, but from our perspective,
Flyers and stuff like
Yeah,
that.
there's that, but also it's just getting more eyeballs on your business physically. If you're a coffee shop, that means doing farmers markets or trade shows or stuff like that, and having a booth.
Yeah, and
or
your
maybe
local
even-
your local things that target your local area the most are probably the most beneficial with a local business like that, because it's really tight. You're not going to get someone from the other county to come
Now,
if they're not already commuting in line with your place.
absolutely.
my only gripe though about networking events, especially in the B2B space,
Yeah.
is that they are filled with real estate agents, insurance people, and Amway reps
Yeah, and
Good old
financial
LML.
advisors.
and financial advisors.
So there's like the big
newbie financial advisors.
yeah. So you have like somebody. There's always someone there selling life insurance.
always.
There's always someone there doing some multi-level marketing thing.
Usually Amway.
There's always someone there
Or
that's
Herbalife.
that's either selling real estate or in that space. And it literally, you go to these events sometimes, and that's what you feel like you're just meeting every single person. There's three life insurance
and
people.
you're
There's
really
three-
and no offense, those are salespeople, and yeah, you can have your own business and be that person, but at the end of the day, you're just a salesperson, in my eyes, and I don't really it might offend some people. I don't really consider you an entrepreneur, because you're just
Well, you're still an employee.
of another company. Now,
Right.
if you started your own, agency and you're doing that, okay, I give you props for that.
Yeah, that's what our business does. Is what we sell. Right.
But those people so intention, yeah, they conflict networking with just, this is another way of me to sell more stuff, and they have no desire to actual network, connect with you. How can I help your business? Who can I connect you
They're
with?
wanting to make
Yeah,
a
there's
sale.
a different
Yes, that is
definition
the
of
sole
networking.
purpose.
So okay, so this is this is a big question that I think that I think a lot of people walk into networking events with that in mind. They're there to make a sale, and if
Yeah.
the people
Worst way to-
it's
and
the
if
worst
the
way to do
people
it.
that
Yeah.
they can't make a sale to aren't going to be there, then they just don't. They don't move forward with that. So I guess a big question is, like, what's the right mentality to come at networking events with?
Cultivate a relationship.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Period.
and that's why I would say I'm more a proponent of structured networking versus like just a one-off networking event, right?
Yeah.
Because of what Ryan's saying. A lot of those one-off networking events, a lot of times they're
You're
just
just
filled with the
sales.
same people
Yep.
over and over again with that
And
mentality.
you have a beer in your hand, and then some, small snack type foods, and then it's just the same.
That's it, and it's the same thing, right? You see the same. It's like, I remember making the joke probably half a dozen times every time we go to those, and be like, "Oh, look at that guy! I remember him. Oh yeah, look over there. I remember her." It's like the usual suspects are all here, right? Versus if you're in like a structured networking group, right? And it could be anything, right? I mean, there's all different groups out there in different markets across the country. that-
B&I is the most common.
yeah, BNI is the one that's most well known, but there's other ones like that in every market. And you're in a group of people that have like-minded individuals that you can build a long-term relationship with, that can be an advocate for you over
But-
the course of months
But
and years
in that same aspect, you cannot walk into those type of events
with the same
with
mentality.
the same mentality.
Oh, no, of
You will
course not.
fail,
Yeah.
even in BNI.
Yeah.
You may get one or two sales, maybe, if
Yeah.
people like you enough.
Yep.
But again, if you go to it, because I've seen it before where we have people who are credit card processors usually,
Oh my God.
or who sell insurance, come to a BNI group with the sole intention of just selling. They put on this fake show of like, yeah, I'll bring you, I'll connect you. They never do. They're all about, the transaction. They're very transactional, and they don't last very long.
And then spam everybody in the group. They're emailing them over, the
They're
next
already on
several
an email
months.
group, and
Yeah.
yeah.
Mm.
So I don't. That's the wrong mentality. It's to, like Cody said, to cultivate the relationship, actually give a damn what the other person's saying.
Yep.
Is there an actual way I can help this person? I'm not saying you have to buy their product, but hey, this person, oh yeah, I know this person that needs your product. Yeah, let me connect you.
finding that gap of service.
And then what
Correct.
happens, right, is, there does come a point where you need to stop trading your time, right, for networking, when you could have an effective marketing and advertising campaign to create consistent business, right, that's very replicatable.
When was that moment for you guys?
Well, actually, we're still kind of in both, right? We're still straddling the line on both, right? Both of us are still in networking groups. It makes a ton of sense.
You think you'll ever
it's
leave?
Still worth our time. I think so. Yeah, I think there comes a point where, as a C-level executive, you have to look at your time worth more than spending a few hours every single week doing something.
Not everyone's a Fortune 500 company CEO. Of course, are they networking at BNI?
They're
no,
not. They're not.
The founder of Capital One is not.
Well, they're doing those
local.
events. They're hosting events at that point, right? They're saying
and then you could also look at it as, eventually we get to a place where we have a full-time salesperson on our team that then could be in that group.
You're hosting events
and
like
we're
the
not
313 building downtown.
Sure. Yeah. So then, but I think what ends up happening is too many businesses, and you talk about this a lot, Ryan, too many businesses end up not taking the leap from referrals only, right, and word of mouth only.
Word of mouth is great, but it should never be relied upon.
Well, then once a business is a few years in, they have to start having a way to consistently replicate results, and that's only going to happen through actively advertising and actively, consistently getting in front of people that could potentially buy your product or service, right? And that's where I think a lot of businesses just kind of stay stagnant. They grow to a certain point, they're networking, and then they don't ever really take the next step because they're not willing to put 20% of top-line revenue into marketing and advertising.
Yeah,
Pretty much what I did.
Coca-Cola still markets heavily.
Oh, yeah.
And they don't – their marketing, they don't market for you to buy a Coca-Cola right then and there. They market it so the second you do see a Coca-Cola on the shelf for sale, you're like, okay, yeah, I'm craving a Coke. It's just that more – they focus more on brand awareness and that aspect. But Coca-Cola is still – does Coca have, a household name? Yes. Do they have word of mouth? Yeah. But again, they're still spending billions upon billions of dollars in advertising to get people to buy their product because it's just we're humans. So we have stopped doing those networking events that are just like free flowing and you show up. We don't do them anymore.
Yeah.
At least in they may work well in some other cities. Because I remember going to one random one in Austin. I was like, man, this is really cool. It was the first time I ever. It's when co-working was like a brand new thing, the idea of a co-working space.
Yeah.
I don't know if it was WeWork or not, but it was back in like 2014, and it was a cool event. And it wasn't filled with insurance people; it was all entrepreneurs. Again, it was a co-working space, and then made an effort to go to some of these local events in Richmond. And I think out of like the 20 or 20 events we've gone to over the years, I think we got one client out of that.
Yeah.
And that ended up being the most pain in the ass client, to be honest. Versus we've gotten business from BNI and those connections, but it's just when it takes time to build that reputation. Networking is a great way to get your name out there, so you become because it locally in Richmond. When someone says website design, I want people we've worked with. Oh yeah, Fresh Food Media. That's who you have to go to. I want to build that mentality versus some of these other agencies or someone just using Wix or Squarespace. So. It is, again, like James said, you got to put in the time, got to put boots on the ground, ground the payment, but it does come to a point where
I also think networking is very important too, as well, just to get used to rejection.
Yes, it's just like dating.
Oh, sure. Yeah. Like, no, we want to buy your stuff. Like,
and to that point, it's also great for creating your stump speech, right? And in 30 to 60 seconds, being able to communicate effectively what you do. And if you can't do that, then
you really know what you're selling.
Yeah, it's a problem, right? One of my really good friends just went through a job change, and he had recruiters that were talking to him, and one of the recruiters was from a consultancy, right? Big consultancy, and they were trying to recruit him into consultant work, right? And he kept asking the question, well, what makes you different than other consulting companies, right? What's your differentiator? What's your unique value proposition? Sure. And she had no answer for that, right?
Just buzzword.
Yeah,
consulting company has no answer.
Well,
for
she basically kept talking about the same like
their mission and value statements.
Yeah, the same taglines every consultant used, right? Yeah. We have everything under one roof. We have all these resources. We have this, and the problem is that there wasn't anything unique about what she was saying versus what other people were saying, and he was like, I'm not interested, right? So
sounds like they need a recruiter.
Yeah, well, if you can't, and that goes for recruiting, that goes for the roofer that's selling roofs, right? That goes for anything. If you can't quickly in 30 seconds or 60 seconds talk about what you offer people.
I would say even like one sentence.
Yeah. Like if you can't quickly get to the point, then you'll lose people. And networking allows you to very quickly be able to
now
craft that.
I will say a big difference.
Words are hard
for us. Yes, words are hard. When it came to networking, I would say also when we moved into a co-working space.
Yeah.
Because now we're out and about on a daily basis, seeing other business owners. It's co-working is a more open environment. Yeah, they do have not shared, but they do have office spaces that you can be dedicated to your own space. But the idea of co-working, the main concept of co-working is that it's there's tables everywhere. You're sitting there with your laptop. Someone sits down next to you to do work, and you just start that natural conversation about business, or they overhear what you do, and it's a great way to get clients. And again, you are spending some money.
And people are typically open to conversation there, and it's
definitely.
I mean, they're there. That's like a big reason that you're there.
They're well more receptive to as far as what you do, and are more because again, they understand because most of the time they are business people. Now, sometimes there are people that work for other companies that are remote and do work in co-working. Not that they can't help you out or work with you, but that is a great space to go into. Again, it does cost money. To meet other business people, and we've gotten plenty of clients that way.
Yeah, I actually just recently did that, and I actually did a cost analysis between Google Ads versus moving into Gather, because my cost per click, $200 per click, because the DC metro area for my IT space is
insane.
Oversaturated.
Oh yeah.
So I was like, why not spend the money to get this revolving door of potential clients and other businesses just by sitting down somewhere? A better place to work, not my basement at my house, and then besides the commute, that's the only downside in my opinion.
Yeah.
Free coffee, beer on tap, revolving door clients. You get meeting rooms, you got cleaners. Like the benefits outweigh the cons. And now I'm not just having the potential of 3 clicks on a website for tire kickers versus just a continuous revolving door of potential people to talk to.
Yep. No doubt.
Yeah.
Those 3 clicks just cost you $600 for
Exactly.
that day.
Yeah.
In your space.
Not to mention the fact that those aren't always qualified leads anyway.
Oh, that's what I'm saying.
Right?
Yeah.
You have to filter through a lot versus in a quick conversation with someone, you can very quickly identify whether this is somebody that.
And even it goes the same with B&I.
Yeah.
You guys, have that the baseline of people you're actually bringing in. It's like, hey, these people can actually satify the gap in your service.
Yes.
Now, when it does come to advertising, again, the idea of this topic is advertising versus networking.
Right.
And we've given all the pros to networking, and then, of course, the cons and what to do and what not to do in your space. But advertising is very beneficial to a business, obviously, when it's done right. And advertising and marketing are technically somewhat 2 different things. But from an advertising standpoint, for us in our industry, Google ads and YouTube ads are the best bet for what we do, because what's someone do when they're looking for a product or service? They go to Google. Yeah, they may ask their friends or ask someone on Facebook. The vast majority of the time, someone's going to Google and type it in, and we want our ad to show up first. Yep. And we got to put money up front. We got to build a landing page, get people to fill out obviously do the ads, the ad management, get people to click on the ad, go through our landing page, get sold on us solely based on that landing page, then to hopefully fill out a form or contact us, and then we have to have a conversation, exploratory meeting, and then make the pitch. So it's a drawn-out process.
Big sales funnel.
It is, and honestly, some companies even have 2-year sales cycles depending on what they do. It just comes down to what business you're in and what industry, and how and what route that goes when it comes to, say, doing Google ads. I still think it's the best way to go for most businesses.
So let me ask you this. I think a lot of people see ads as a national and an international solution. Like if your client, some businesses are not going to sell even a county over. Like they're going to sell within their local community, and they're going to sell. It's not really going to expand beyond that with that business.
Like an electrician or a plumber.
Sure, yeah. So how do you?
Area. Yep.
What do you? What's the solution if someone wants to do ads and it's local? Right?
It's still the perfect. And when it comes to Google ads, for example, it's because with Google when it comes to the Google ad platform, unless it's real estate.
You can get down into zip codes.
You can get down to zip codes and target certain people, and then also you can target demographics. So, I only want to target the top 10% income owners. Let's say I sell a product to females. I can literally because Google knows everything, I can have it skew towards more female audience or more male audience. So you have that flexibility, especially down to the zip code. Now, how many people are in that space looking for your product does somewhat affect how effective that campaign is going to be. But Google Ads is super effective. Actually, the more hyper-localized you get, the better. The thing is with real estate, there's laws in place where they can't target zip codes because that fall under the Fair Housing Act or whatever.
Yep.
And
the same thing is true with financial services.
Financial services and even home builders. So like our client, the custom home builder, even though they're not technically a real estate agent, we used to be able to do ads on certain zip codes, which made sense because the cheapest house they build now is $1 million. So why should I be doing ads in certain parts of Richmond? Doesn't make any sense. Or people looking for 250. Now I could do negative keywords. So someone types in a $250,000 custom home, which is like non-existent nowadays. I put that. I can put that as a negative, so they don't show up. But I can't target income demographics. So someone making $100,000 a year, great. They still can't afford a $1 million home.
Right.
I mean, the vast majority of their income would go to be paying that $5,000-$6,000 monthly mortgage payment, which is insane. So that kind of sucks. So that's just more of a shotgun approach with Google Ads, but it still works for them. But again, doing stuff on Facebook, you can also get hyper-localized unless you're a real estate agent because the same laws apply.
Rough.
But even still, like, if you're thinking about the home builder as an example or a real estate agent, they still allow you to drop a pin and you could still do within a 30-mile radius. So it's like that's still Richmond, right? I mean, like you're still targeting a local. You're not having your ads run in Northern Virginia or in other cities. So yeah, I mean, to your point, there's still a ton of value, especially in digital now, and the resources that are available to an average business owner to be spending money in a local market to create foot traffic, as an example.
The difference is, though, when it comes to advertising is whether or not you do this yourself or you hire an agency to do it. And that will greatly reflect, most of the time, how successful that advertising campaign will be. Because a Google Ads campaign, if you have no idea what you're doing, it's a really good way to give Google a lot of money for them to give you nothing. Google Ads even came out with the Google Ads Express program. It's like an easier version of AdWords for like the average business owner just to do ads. They're rarely ever successful campaigns. And usually most business owners will try it for a few months and then like, yeah, I did Google Ads and I spent, tens of thousands of dollars. It didn't generate much business. Well, sorry, because Google Ads Express is not set up correctly in the way it's going to ever work in your favor. You're just giving more money to Google. That's just Google trying to suck more money out of you. And versus if you would have hired an agency to manage it for you, you're spending a little bit more money, but our goal is to get you clients. And if we're getting you clients consistently, you're going to stay with us. So our management fee is technically irrelevant.
Yeah, I tell my clients all the time, it's my goal for you to make more money than you've spent with me. It's my goal for you to start looking at me like a money hole instead of a money pit.
And if the question comes up of like
neither of those sound very good.
No, they don't.
I think you might want to rephrase that.
I'd never phrase it that way, but
but when it comes to ads, if you can't afford an agency to do ads for you, or you just don't want to pay it, you shouldn't be doing ads at the point. You still need to be working. You don't have enough.
That's a fair point. Yes.
So if it's like $850, like our Google ad management fee starts at $850 a month. Plus the ad spend, which is tied to their credit card. It's just how we do it. That's for us to build a campaign, manage the campaign, split tests, dive down into the analytics and all that good stuff. And we adjust stuff. We don't just hit start and then sit back because we want our client to make money. Because if they're making money, we keep that $850 recurring. So obviously, the more we could get, the more our business grows. And the more successful their business is, the better we have it. So. And most business owners honestly shouldn't be even spending their time doing that stuff. And by the way, a Google Ads expert, actual salary, like that is an expert in that field, is on average about 6 figures alone. Someone that is specialized in Google Ads, like that is what they live and breathe, that is $100,000 salary. So you're going to try to do that yourself makes no sense.
So what is a let's take a sample client here. Let's make him a roofer.
Google ads are great for roofers.
Yeah. So because a lot of people are typing in roofer.
Yeah.
So what is the what's a good amount of money for this guy to spend aside from what he's paying? Like, what's a good amount of money for him to be putting into Google Ads?
To Google Ad. So again, we're a Google partner, and we do Google Ad management. And the idea is the more clicks, the better, because then we get more eyeballs. Because it's essentially a percentage game. Is, say we get 10 people to your site, hopefully the landing page is doing a good job of converting. But if we can get at a bare minimum, 80% conversion would be great, but that's like non-existent.
Yeah.
There are a lot of tire kickers. People just look in.
Well,
or comparing.
1 out of 10 is a fair,
I try 20%.
Yeah.
But 10% is okay. But again, it all comes down to what is that cost per click. But that's just getting the person to your site. So I always do a bare minimum of what can we do, or what budget can we get, at least at a bare minimum 10 people a day to your site. So 10 clicks a day. Because then at 10%, that's one person a day to fill out a form to contact you. Now, it's on the business owner to do their job, to do a really good as far as selling that client. But that's how I base it off. So it's like 10 clicks. All right. What is the cost per click in your space? Okay, $14. Okay. So 10 clicks is going to cost you $140 a day. That's what you should be spending. So 140 times 30 days a month. That should be your budget for that month. Now, that might be out of some people's price range. And for a roofer, that's not. Roofers make an insane amount of money. But that's how we usually base it off of, is what can we do to get 10 clicks. Now, sometimes it doesn't make sense to do 10 clicks. So like we have a lawyer that does car accidents. His cost per click is in his space is about $100 in the Richmond area. He spends $400 a day. We only get him 4 clicks a day on his site. So we do a really good job, or at least hopefully a really good job of on that landing page to get those to convert really well. But we don't do ads on Saturday and Sunday because they're not in the office, and essentially just be wasted ad spend. And he's getting conversions, but again, a $400 ad budget is still, that's a ton of money. It's like, what, 10, 15K a month he's spending in simply just ads. Mm-hmm. So not 10, 15K, it's more like, 6 or 7, give or take. So for me, it's 10 clicks, and then what does that cost to get 10 clicks bare minimum? And of course, if it's working, spend more money.
Well, and that's where I think a lot of business owners they have trouble making the move from, this is what I charge clients, mm-hmm. this is how much I make from every deal mm-hmm. That I do, every roof, let's say, that I install. But they're not factoring in that when they start advertising or they hire a salesperson and they start paying out commission, they now have to realize that their margins change, mm-hmm. which means that their price has to change. And so what they were charging before probably isn't enough. They're going to need to charge more. And then they need to really start considering putting 20% aside of every deal for top line, of their top line revenue for marketing or advertising, sure. and or hiring a salesperson. Because one of the things that we haven't talked about here, right, is there's a third avenue, right? You have networking. You have, like, of the business owner personally networking right out of the gate, right? Mm-hmm. And they're their own salesperson. Then you have advertising. And then you also have a team of salespeople that you could potentially bring on, right? 1, 2, 3, whatever it is, that are actively pounding the pavement for you, right? And for some businesses, hey, it still makes sense to do the door-to-door, show up at a business, whatever. Like, that still works sometimes, or show at somebody's home. But there's also other forms of direct sales, right? Mm-hmm. Whether it be through
call centers,
reaching out on LinkedIn, right, or direct calls, right, to businesses, cold emailing, cold calls, not very
showing
fun,
up.
But there's it depends on the business, and by the way, there's still a lot to be said for those kind of ways of getting out there. So,
but back to the Google Ads. It's once you have those numbers, then it's figuring out what is your cost per acquisition. So like if you sell a $500 product and you're doing ads and your cost per acquisition is like $300, that's not really an effective ad campaign, and more like you probably should be doing Google Ads. So like what's your average ticket price for that client, or average order or average sales? So like one of our clients that we do ads for the auto shop, when we do we have multiple campaigns, he targets just German cars. So we have an Audi campaign, a BMW campaign, Porsche campaign and a Mercedes campaign. His cost per acquisition on a Mercedes for Google Ads is about $26. His average ticket price is about $1,200.
Yeah, that's a good turn.
Yep.
So it's doing really well. But then some cars change throughout the year, and it just depends on the market. BMW for him, I think, is about $55. Porsche is like $150, and Audi is $150. There's not many Audis in like the Richmond area. Therefore, and you still have the same amount of people competing for that space, so the cost per acquisition is a lot higher. Versus, there are tens of thousands of Mercedes in Richmond. They're all that and BMWs. It's annoying. Most BMW drivers are assholes.
James over
no
here.
offense. Yeah.
I don't drive a BMW anymore.
Point. Exactly.
I'm happy with my
you
nice,
would.
my
But-
cheap Ford Fusion. I'm very happy.
you would like to buy
But
another one.
therefore, the fact there was more Mercedes-Benz and BMWs in Richmond, his cost per acquisition is a lot lower because there's a lot more eyeballs searching for it. But the fact that I have him and his Mercedes campaign, a $26 cost per acquisition with an average
that's
ticket price.
That's
insane.
kick-ass.
That is again, he does have a lot of expenses on his end. He actually pays his mechanic salary, which most people don't. So he has a huge,
Yeah, he's got a lot of overhead.
a lot of
Yeah,
overhead, but he's doing really
But he's doing
well.
luxury cars, and there's like maybe 2 more shops that
Well,
only service German cars.
We're also competing with BMW itself.
The
Oh,
dealership.
sure, the
The
dealership,
actual service
right,
center,
But I'm just
which-
talking about service.
And then
in
there,
general.
I would say there's about 3 or 4 other specialized shops in the Richmond area that
Yeah.
focus solely on German cars. Granted, you could take your car to any auto body shop and they'll work on it. But most people who are BMW or Mercedes owned or Porsche tend to be more stuck up
Well,
in the
I mean, I'd
ass.
say those other
So
shops don't
they
have those
go
specialty
to-
tools either.
They want to go to that, specialized, shop.
I know.
So,
Don't lie, James. You know
Hey,
you would.
listen, if you
would.
invested a lot of money in a BMW,
dude,
then
your
would.
Facebook,
you're damn
your
right.
Facebook cover photo was the tire of the BMW for years.
Yeah, well,
He loved that thing.
Hey,
he
know.
did.
I
I know.
paid extra for the sport package,
Yeah, see?
and those rims were
Yeah.
money. I
Yeah,
like
those
the rims. a lot.
money.
Very good.
Money.
Very
Oh
good.
my god.
No, I think ultimately, eventually, a business has to take a hard look at where they are in their business life cycle, right?
Oh, of course.
And I think that's the biggest determining factor to your question, right? Is where are you in the cycle of your business, and what actions or activities consistently will bring you business?
So I guess if you were to put a percentage on advertisement and generalization of every business, how much should a business spend?
20%.
20%.
Yeah, of top line revenue.
Bare
But
minimum.
that's so vague and general.
Oh, of course.
Right?
Yeah.
Because there are some
I mean, that's a good
businesses.
safety net. At least you're saving 20% and setting it aside for something, for growth.
Yeah, there are some businesses that have like really slim margins, right? So it's all about volume. And so for somebody that's like a coffee shop that's got these real tiny margins, right? I mean, just the restaurant business in general is tough,
Yeah.
right? It might not be realistic for them.
Well, I think
to
they
put
can get
much
around
aside.
that by like doing hosting events.
Yeah, yeah.
Percentage cutoff discounts. Yeah, you guys can come in here. You guys, have this room and stuff like that. That's their version of, I guess, with advertising, because that's the very hyper local area, right?
Yep. Yeah. All right, we ready to transition to
A Shark
our-
Tank product.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we're back into our series of the Shark Tank product pitch and review, and today we have the squatty potty.
Okay, now wait a minute. You haven't used this, right?
I've used it.
No, like this exact
Oh.
one.
I had to test it out
This
before
is
you brought
fresh
it in
out
here.
of the box, hopefully.
No, this is literally how it arrives. They don't have packaging, surprisingly, for this.
I mean, hey, that's a pretty smart
Yeah.
idea, because you can just stack it.
You don't. Yeah, that's literally how they put it at Bed Bath and Beyond.
Yep.
They just stack
Stack 'em all.
There's like an end cap, I believe. But again, they just have the sticker and the UPC barcode. But this is the squatty
Literally
potty.
just a stepping stool
It's
that
just-
wraps around.
It's
the
literally a
toilet.
stool,
Yep.
essentially. Get no pun
It's a
intended.
stool that
Helps you get rid of stools.
It wraps
that
around
kind of
your
like-
toilet. You can put it under your
yeah,
toilet. so
it
goes
like
all the way.
puts itself away so it doesn't take up space.
Yep.
I like
'Cause
that. It says poop better. That's good. Poop better.
All right, Aaron,
And
if you-
their
you wanna bring
their
up that-
icon and their
Yeah, look
logo
at the icon. That's awesome.
the icon is a dude.
is pretty
too.
eye catching.
Yep.
It tells you how
Got
to
the
use
little
it.
got the little V.
All right, so
Yeah.
I'm actually curious. What does this QR code go to?
If it wants to work, probably their website.
They're
A
using
little,
Bitly.
how-to.
Squatty potty rewards.
Rewards. Ooh.
Rewards. What am I?
You're gonna buy more.
Buy more of these?
I have 5 toilets. I need 7 of them. Could be really clean.
Okay.
Really OCD clean people that have to rotate them out every so often to keep it hyper clean.
Potty trading.
Like, you never
Everybody
know.
poops.
Everybody poop.
All right.
All
This
right,
is the
let's do
Shark
it.
Tank.
Rock and roll.
All right.
Next into the tank are mother and son
Man,
entrepreneurs with a
TV
product
music
designed
just
to
cracks
keep
me up.
things moving.
Like this music, it just
It's so ridiculous. Any other
It's gotta
context,
be.
it wouldn't make
It's
sense.
gotta be.
Why don't
just-
they play it as they walk in?
Hello, Sharks.
that's how some
Bobby Edwards.
composers do it. Yeah.
This is my mother, Judy, and we're here seeking $350,000 for a 5% share in our simple product
Ooh.
that changes
Wow,
lives.
that's a big one.
Simply put, we're in the business to help you do your business.
Now, there's something that each and every one of you are doing wrong every day of your lives, and it's adversely affecting your health.
They gave their company $7 million evaluation.
You know, there's very few people that realize that the toilet and the sitting position that it puts you in plays a big part in a lot of the colon issues that we have, such as constipation. Let me show you why. Anatomically, we have a muscle called the puborectalis muscle that wraps around the base of our colon, forming a kink. And when we're sitting on the toilet, this kink only partially relaxes. And only when we are in a squat position does this muscle completely relax and allows us to have a complete and full elimination of our waste.
So we've come up with a perfect solution. Squatty potty.
It hasn't changed.
Simple
I
stool
needed
that's
him to get up there.
that allows you to
Just
squat
take off his pants.
No one wants to see this.
Yeah.
while still enjoying the comfort and convenience.
It needs to be on his cell phone to make it more accurate.
Right?
Yeah.
It stores neatly away.
So, with our hard work and family spirit and your knowledge and expertise, Squatty Potty will be the goose that lays the golden egg for you guys and us too.
Now, who wants to climb on board and help us get America moving?
How do you squeeze out a profit?
All right, hold on. Hey, Aaron, pause it. Aaron, pause it real quick.
Oh no, the puns started.
my
before we
God.
go, who you voting for? Who are they gonna go for?
I already know, so I
Oh,
can't.
no, you can't go.
Oh, I don't know actually.
It's a retail product.
I think
Mr. Fantastic?
Mr.
Laura. Is
Wonderful.
it Laura?
I think it's Laura, right?
Right.
QVC.
Lori.
QVC.
Lori.
Lori.
Yeah.
Lori. I
Mis-
think Lori. but-
Mr. Wonderful seems already interested. I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah.
He's gonna want royalties on it
He always wants royalties on it.
In perpetuity.
forever.
Go ahead.
Yeah, go ahead.
Potty profits?
Well, I want to hear about sales because you value this business at $7 million.
Right.
That's a whole lot of poo-poo.
We've been in business 3 years. The first year in business, we sold $1 million in Squatty Potty.
It's the second pun.
Whoa,
The
pause.
year after
The
that,
year after, we did
$1 million for a first year for any business
Yeah.
isn't, especially
damn
a
impressive.
product is pretty damn
How
impressive.
much was that?
I don't remember. Like $20 maybe.
Yeah, they're like $22, I think.
All right, it's a piece of plastic,
So
so
20
yeah,
bucks over
I mean,
$1 million. That's
I'm
five-
curious what their cost.
Like
Probably
$500,
$5.
$500.
Go ahead.
Squatty Potty is $19.99.
$20.
Ah, they do have a 2.0 version for
Ooh.
$24. Oh, they even make a wood one too now.
Yeah, there's
Oh.
they're decorative.
Wow.
$40.
Gotta be the bamboo.
Luxurious.
Yeah.
bamboo.
Yeah, it looks cool.
Yep.
All right.
Go ahead, Aaron.
2.7 million.
yes, I like it.
And this year alone, we just sold $2 million in Squatty Potties in the first 2 quarters. So
How do you sell them?
Wow.
To who?
they're all available online. You know, we have
There's
a website
no retail?
and Amazon. We're not in retail yet.
Holy crap! You're
Holy
selling.
crap, right?
Check.
That's a crap load of
Pun
money
count
in
3.
Squatty Potties.
Seriously, you're selling 2.7.
Just take shots for
What's
every
over
pun.
here?
I know why.
Why?
That'd be a good game.
Weren't you just on Dr. Oz? I just saw this.
Okay, so in the first year we were in
Dr.
business
Oz.
in 2012, we were on Dr. Oz.
Yes.
That's
So
how
that
we got
helps.
That $1 million, right?
Earned media.
And you know what Dr. Oz said about it? It works.
Because 2/3 of the world.
Science
people
backs it
squat.
up.
Yep.
Is there anything to stop someone else from doing exactly the same thing?
Okay, so we have several patents. We have a design patent on our Echo, which is our #1 seller. We have a patent pending on this adjustable squatty. So
Pause it real quick.
Adjustable stool that raises.
The fact they have a design patent on this blows my mind because it's just a stool.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
I get it. I can see how they got it because it has this. It curves around for the
Toilet.
toilet. But that's astounding to me that they have a design patent, and that probably costs.
Yeah,
them,
because the design patent's harder to get, right? Than
well,
yeah.
no. A design patent's not hard because you're just you're patenting the function, not the functionality, but the design of itself.
Oh, okay.
So like
that's
when
right. That's
Corsical sent me
Yeah.
a cease and desist letter, them,
Yeah.
saying that we infringed on the design patent, and they sent the design patent over, but they didn't tell us how we infringed upon it. And it was funny is we actually used the same manufacturer as them, and we got side-by-side photos, and we had to fight that.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, yeah, we're not infringing on your patent because none of this actually matches. It looks like it from a distance.
Yeah.
From a distance, but close up, clearly totally different product.
What's the other type of patent? Because there's design
utility patent.
Utility patent. Okay, that's all right. Yep.
With toilet height.
So what do you sell it for, and what's it cost you to make?
Let's talk about this one because this is the one that's on market. It's 25 bucks.
And what's it cost you to make?
$4.50.
Oh, price went down.
Wow.
And we make
Yeah,
them
that's
in
what I
the United
thought.
States.
$5. Yeah.
Great margins.
But guys, look, with those margins, you got to be pooping cash, right? You need
Four.
$350,000 for it.
So we have so many opportunities, we can't fund them all. One of the biggest things that we want is FDA compliance and medical reimbursement coverage for this product, and getting this as a medical device.
Interesting.
Ah,
Takes
interesting.
this from a as seen on TV direct response product to a real legitimate medical product.
Do you guys have this as a direct response product?
So we do.
No.
This is the other issue. Why aren't we in retail? Because people don't know how to put this in retail.
Why would you want to go into retail when you're killing it right now?
Why wouldn't we want to be in every Walgreens and CVS?
I think one of the challenges with getting this into retail is, I mean, do people first laugh?
Yeah.
Why can't somebody just get a stack of books and lift their legs up?
Books on your bathroom floor.
Specifically for the task. It's perfectly angled, the perfect width. It's like cutting a steak with a butter knife, right? You're gonna get it, but it's not gonna be as good. We expect $7 million in 2014.
Why?
Yeah.
But why?
Because all of our sales come at Christmas. At Christmas time, this is a
Really?
big product.
43%.
A gag gift.
Hey, honey,
Yeah.
you're not
Yeah.
taking a
It's
shit
a useful.
properly.
It's a useful, funny gift.
Yep, it's a gag gift. Secret Santa.
If you have 80% margins, why aren't you making more money off of $7 million in sales?
The cost of getting a customer and it's an education
Okay,
thing.
so what's your cost per customer acquisition?
Well,
CPA.
we-
There it
How
is.
much you spending on advertising
For the
and
last
marketing?
6 weeks, we've been advertising on Howard Stern. For every dollar we spend, we get $4 to $5 in sales.
So Bobby, let's say I buy into
Howard
$7
Stern.
million
That's an
business
interesting
in sales.
aspect for
How are you gonna
advertising.
generate
Yeah.
money?
I'm going to increase production immediately. Our sales are increasing so rapidly.
Our
and,
demand is around the world.
and we have cash in the bank. This is we can make a crap load of money here. And help people poop. We're a good family to work with. But we feel like we really
What's your
do need
sales
a
pitch?
shark.
I help
We
people
want
poop.
Somebody on board that will allow us, when we make those phone calls, they will get answered.
You know, Bob, the only problem with your deal is how insignificant 5% is, at least for me looking at it. I like the deal.
Okay.
I'd give you the $350,000 for 10%.
Yeah, so that's, the problem is that on the back end, it's going to be worth so much more.
Look, I think you're about to get a lot of verbal diarrhea from Kevin. So let me clear the throne.
7. That was 7.
Kudos to you. In a million years, I never would have thought you had those kind of revenues. I think it's very, very difficult to get people to change their minds about things. We're used to going to the toilet a certain way. You've got to change that perception. I mean, you're doing it, but I got to go with my gut feel. My first instinct was, I just don't see it.
For that reason,
I'm out.
He's always
I've
out.
made
Does
you
he?
an offer.
Does he
I'm
make any
offering you
deals?
$350,000
He
for
rarely
10%.
does.
Bobby, do you have a counter for that?
Yeah, $700,000 for 10%.
I wouldn't do that deal, Bobby.
Okay.
I wouldn't.
I really like it, but to Kevin's point too, 5%, as he would say, is a nothing burger.
We'll give
Yeah,
us
but of
give
a
us
pretty
offer, yeah.
big valuation.
I think that this
I think
could
that's
do really
overstated.
well on QVC and in retail, but I think retailers is harder. But for me to invest, I feel like I would need at least 10% to make it
This
worth
is
my
just
time.
them
But I don't
negotiating.
want to give you $700,000.
Okay.
What
I
do you
feel,
want to give him?
Well, I feel that the $350,000 for 10% is right.
How about 10% for $500,000?
Okay, so Bobby, your counter, Lori, is 10%
That's my
for
counter to Lori.
$500,000.
Yeah.
I don't accept that. If you're interested, if you really want a shark, then you would entertain that seriously.
Well, the other issue is the 10%, and the value of that in a year or 2 years?
You're talking out of both sides of your mouth.
Okay.
Right. So you're talking.
I wish
about
you're talking both sides out of your
value
ass.
for what
I was
you
hoping you
have.
said that. That would have been better.
That's why you think it's worth $7 million. Then you talk about, boy, if only you had a shark who could get your calls taken, who can help you get in retail. So you're obviously not valuing that, because if you truly did value that, you would not say, look, we're already to 7 million. You would have a value assigned to that that could take you to 14 or 21, and you wouldn't argue about 5%. That's the part that doesn't jive.
And for that reason, I'm out.
There's something about you that I'm not believing.
What?
What?
Please edit it.
I trust your mom. But you're hopping and
I
weaving a
trust
lot,
your
I feel,
mom.
and it's
That's a
making me
weird-
more nervous as I listen.
That was a weird edit transition.
Definitely out.
That was like
Bobby gets a little excited.
I get
He
excited.
really is.
randomly
He's very
casting
stressful.
aspersions on
Yeah.
him. Like,
Yeah, that's really random.
I apologize if I seem scattered.
A shark can't get interested in 5%. I'm not doing it for less than 10, and never would I.
Okay.
Actually, we're going to take Lori's offer.
There you go.
Great.
That mom look. She's like, don't be stupid. Don't be stupid.
So what was it, 350 at 10%?
Yeah.
This really works.
wow, she is cleaning up on that deal. I mean, what are they
What's it
doing
worth
now
now?
in revenue?
So
this was 2014.
Since the show, when I did the research on it, they've done 168 million in sales.
Wow. Wow. Yeah. It's pretty good. Pretty good.
And then after this, so obviously they had again, most people
Well,
can't.
before the commercial.
Most people can't have the luxury of being on Dr. Oz on the first year of business.
That would help.
It would help
tremendously.
a little bit. I think again that comes to the point of who you know, and I think that's how that happened. So or unless he just made the product and submitted the pitch to Dr. Oz.
Could be. They were just looking for something kind of intriguing. I mean, it's an entertainment show, right? Ultimately.
He had his
So
sales pitch probably down and made that, so that helped. And then after this, they teamed up with Harmon Brothers to make a video commercial that just took them even further. So
Yeah.
And for people who don't know, Harmon Brothers, maybe gods to Aaron.
Aaron's
right?
a fanboy.
Aaron is a huge
Yeah,
fan
I am
of
a huge.
Harmon
Aaron's a
Brothers.
fanboy of a not marketing. Well, they do marketing, but
They're
essentially a digital agency.
Yeah.
Mostly a video production company.
What do you like about Harmon Brothers?
So Harmon Brothers is really cool because they how well they design their scripts. Like that's like the first thing that they do, because I tell people this all the time. Your production can look great, and you will have burned a ton of money on it if you haven't put your time into the script. And that is like first and foremost the most important thing they do.
Yeah.
And so like everything that you watch of theirs is just like it's all designed around like either getting a sale, like it's usually getting a sale, that like direct response, like they design everything that they do toward a goal, and that's huge. That's everything.
And I'll say one
me.
more thing on it, and you'll notice this when you watch it, but they are masters at leaning into objections.
Yes.
Right? So you think about everybody's got some objection for a product, right? And you're thinking about it as you're watching an ad. You're always thinking, oh, well, what about this? Oh, what about this? And they basically just in their scripts are like, now you're probably thinking this.
Yeah.
Right? And they just
right
breaking
as you're
that fourth
thinking
wall.
it.
they lean into it, right? And
Yeah.
they use humor. That's their method, right? For diffusing those objections is humor. So, and they make some logic and reasoning too. But do we have that open?
We do. It's the second time.
Awesome.
That's the first thing you see is it.
Yeah, they always hook you with a visual. That's really important. They hook you with a visual that's going to keep you for the next 7 to 15 seconds.
Yeah.
What is that? What?
40 million views. All right.
Let's watch it.
Jesus.
This is where your ice cream comes from. The creamy poop of a mystic unicorn. Totally clean, totally cool, and soft served straight from a sphincter. Good at pooping. But you know who sucks at pooping? You do. Because when you sit on a porcelain throne, this muscle puts a kink in the hose and stops the Ben and Jerry's from sliding out smoothly. Is that a problem? I don't know. Are hemorrhoids a problem? Sitting at this angle can cause hemorrhoids, bloating, constipation, and a buttload of other crap. Seriously, unicorn hemorrhoids? The glitter gets everywhere. But what happens when you go from a sit to a squat? Voila, this muscle relaxes and that kink goes away faster than Pegasus playing Sweet Cherry Dookie.
They haven't even shown the product yet.
Yeah.
Well, they Barney styled the science.
And now there's a product that lets you squat in your own home. Introducing the Squatty Potty. No, Squatty Potty is not a joke. And yes, it will give you the best poop of your life. Guaranteed.
See, right? You're thinking, is this a joke, right?
Yeah, no, it's not a joke.
I mean, everyone.
Hashtag squatty potty.
King, unkink. King, unkink. It's simple science, really. Can't get the last scoop out of the carton. With the Squatty Potty, you get complete elimination.
The relief on its face.
Ice cream, you scream, and plop, plop, baby.
Excellent use of cutting in.
Squatty Potty gives you a smooth stream of froyo that glides like a virgin swan. Plus, when you're done, it tucks neatly out of sight thanks to its innovative patented design. Truly a footstool fit for a constipated king. So, if you're a human being who poops from your butt, click here to order your Squatty Potty today at Squatty Potty.
Qualified the audience there.
Yeah. The king.
And if you don't trust the
Oh,
prince,
man.
how about your doctor? Shark Tank, HuffPost, NPR, Men's Health, Howard Stern.
Nice.
Howard.
His butt. Squatty Potty. Not to mention the 2,000 Amazon users who gave the Squatty Potty 5 stars, including the author of this moving haiku.
Oh, Squatty Potty.
I haven't seen this full version.
Order your Squatty Potty today. I'm not saying it will make your poop as soft as this cookies and cream, but I'm not saying it won't. Squatty Potty. Stool for better stool.
Now what's okay? Stop it right now.
It'll be the same.
Press space. All right. So the way they structure their ads is they have given a natural break in this ad, and so like they're now gonna give you a chance to click on this. So there's still like 20 seconds, 30 seconds.
Seriously.
They've made their pitch, and this
Yeah.
is what's really interesting. They're keeping you around because you're still watching at this point.
You're in it.
Yeah, and you're just like, what else are they gonna do?
You're making the
what else are
final-
they gonna say? But what they're doing now is they're gonna give you a chance to buy it. Go ahead.
You're selling yourself in your head right now.
For better stool. It'll never be the same. And neither will ice cream.
See, they're no longer has anything to do with
That's so wrong.
the ad.
Yeah.
They're just giving you time to make the purchase.
Yep. And now you're looking around, squattypie.com,
Kids
right?
eating ice cream.
What?
Oh my god.
That's amazing.
That's great.
Silence is powerful.
Oh,
And
at the
yeah,
end.
and you know what's really cool about that is when you design your script well enough, it's able to be cut into different lengths, right?
Because they do have short versions of this.
Yeah, they've got like a 15 second, a 5 second. They've got so many different versions of it, and that makes a huge difference in application. That makes a huge difference. Like your planning is everything. Your planning and your scripting is everything when it comes to ads. If you aren't putting time and really figuring out exactly what your client wants you to do, then you are burning your money.
All about the pre-production.
Absolutely.
Definitely.
If you really want to entertain yourself, I would go to the Amazon review section of this product and read the reviews of people talking about
Amazon reviews are great. You
taking
can
a
find them
shit.
all
That,
shit on
by
there.
the way, was an underrated, valuable element of that commercial, right? What they do, they took something that is funny, right?
Mm-hmm.
Then they took a user that left a review,
a
right?
random
They
haiku.
highlighted it.
Yep.
And now all you're doing is encouraging more people to do the exact same thing, right?
Oh,
to
yeah,
go there and
yeah.
to leave more reviews that are hilarious,
Clever,
funny,
clever.
that are exciting. Like, I mean, yeah, it's just
Wow, there's an
smart.
insane amount of copycats on Amazon.
Oh, of course, there always
yeah.
are successful products.
Yeah, but none of them sound like Squatty Potty.
Squatty
See, here's the thing. They also create brand loyalty in everything they did there, right? Because
2,000 reviews. They have 42,000 reviews now. But
I'm less likely to want to go get an imitator, right? Because I was just so impressed by the damn commercial, right? And so now
You want
I'm
to
like,
support
yeah,
the business.
Yeah,
definitely.
exactly.
Yeah, it's the culture you want to support. Yep.
All right. Very good.
So I don't believe we have a meme for review.
I didn't
but
send one in.
It's not the end of the world. So
I think that was a meme right there.
Perfect. Yeah,
yeah, that was a meme. So we are moving these podcasts to be a weekly podcast instead of a bi-weekly. I feel like we've gotten our
That way we
schedule in a row.
can waste your time even more often.
Watching a unicorn take a
If you
dump.
want us to waste your time, like and subscribe.
Yeah. Smash that like button. Hit the subscribe button for the YouTube algorithm. It does help to get more views. So we appreciate that. And again, thank you for listening to the Think Fresh, Move Forward podcast. We'll see you next week.
They're good at pooping. But you know who sucks at pooping? You do.